amazes me amount of short time that we've been together.
Oh, it's fantastic. So happy.
Hello, hello. I'm Donna Drake, and with me now is Judy San Roman, and she wrote this fabulous book, They're Fake and They're Spectacular. And yes, she's talking about the girls. Welcome to the set. I'm so happy to see you. How are you?
Thank you so much.
So tell me about your book. Obviously, the title is very catching, but the topic is very serious.
It is.
So it's a survivor's guide to breast cancer.
Yes.
And you obviously are a survivor.
Yes, I am. I just celebrated 10 years.
Congratulations.
I'm very
that
excited.
deserves applause.
Thank you very
People
much.
at home are applauding.
Well, I came up with the cover because I figured if a guy would pick it up at a bookstore, it would be catchy. You know, we're talking about breasts and it's serious, but maybe he'll be saving his sister, his wife, his mom, and just making sure that, you know, it's a very dark time. It's most people would have the inclination, if you get diagnosed with breast cancer, to keep it private, and you know, those are the things you don't share on Facebook, the happy times. But I did the opposite. I thought it would be really great to share it and make somebody else's experience going through the diagnosis of breast cancer less painful. So I came up with They're Fake and They're Spectacular, actually from the Jerry Seinfeld, They're Real and They're Spectacular, and just say, you know what, it's a tough ordeal, it's a tough struggle, but you get your life back. And just like you would, you know, do your homework if you want to find a really great restaurant or what kind of car to buy, I put a lot of really good facts, and I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly to help somebody else's scenario a little bit easier.
A little bit of fashion tips. There's a lot in this book. You know, there's like, it's very inspirational. And you yourself are inspirational.
Thank you.
So let's take you back to the moment when you had the diagnosis. And I know that you're a motherless daughter. You lost your mom. So what happened for you in that moment when they said you had breast cancer?
It's tough because I don't remember. I just remember my mom's struggle with breast cancer. She died when I was 9 at the age of 42. So I really don't remember you know, the exact prognosis. I know it was terrible. Obviously, she passed away, and she also had systemic, and it went to her bones, and just remembering the chemo and all the painful things she went through. So I expected my experience to be just as awful. But in today, I mean, 3 decades later, and you're in the best country you can possibly be, and I put a lot of really great questions together to ask your oncologist or to ask your breast surgeon, so it just makes like gathering the facts a lot easier. And it's completely different. You know, people are scared. You know, you're thinking you have a death sentence. It's not. You know, you just take that time, you process, you grieve, and it's normal. You know, you can't go through life without grieving. You have to live, so you grieve that process, what you're going through. But I thought because I wasn't drinking, I didn't smoke, I was, you know, a very healthy person, exercising, that it wouldn't happen to me. And in fact, you know, 1 in 8 out of women in the United States get diagnosed with breast cancer, and I would say maybe about 65% don't even have a family history. I do have the BRCA1 gene, but again, you know, if you get I was in pharmaceuticals and medical devices for a very long time, so it really helped me gather the best information, and I put it together so hopefully someone won't have to, like, you know, if you're not in the medical industry, you know what to expect.
Right, it's very user-friendly.
It is.
And my mom also, as you know, many of my audience knows, passed away when she was 45 from breast cancer. She was my best friend, and both of her sisters had it, but they're long-term survivors. They've been living like 20 years now.
That's awesome.
And I don't carry the gene, but I think now that they do have the test, I think it's important. Like early detection helps.
It does.
You know, knowing if you have, if you're predisposed to it, but then also knowing that once you're diagnosed, you know, having something like this, you know, a really great user-friendly guide that says exactly what you said. What questions do you ask? Where do you turn to? What are the resources that are available to you? I know people come up to you all the time and tell you thank you. Do you feel like this was always meant to be for you, that this was part of your journey? I
love writing, but when you write about yourself, it's so personal, and it's very tough to share all those experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But when I hear personal stories, how I've impacted people's lives and made their journey better, it really makes me feel good. And not only breast cancer, but it's helped people whether they've lost their job or relationship. It's just looking at the glass half full and say, thank you, have a glass, and you're here. My mom fought so hard to live, and she had, I mean, chemo back then was horrific 3 decades ago. And now it's like having a bad flu. I mean, it's that, I was so grateful every experience I went through, because I just kept comparing it to my mom's and how horrible I thought it would be, and it really wasn't. I just had amazing doctors, amazing support system, And it's like 6 months to a year of, you know, horrible ordeal, but you pay it forward and you help others. Because I had someone, an angel, help me that she was diagnosed maybe 7 months before me, my friend Greta, and she helped me through it. So now I do the same thing now. Unfortunately, I get maybe 3-4 calls a week of friends or doctor friends, and I try to help them go through it.
I also think it's the age that we're at now. There's a window where it just seems like you're going to possibly get it. Like you said, it's 1 in 8 now. And as you get older, and you know, for those of us that are older than 20 and you know, younger than 50, it seems like you know, who's next? You know, what's going to happen? And like you said, it's all about girlfriends. There was somebody recently in my high school that got diagnosed, and I think, thank goodness for Facebook now and for other ways of communicating, because your mom didn't have that, my mom didn't have that. Maybe they had a hotline to call, but they certainly didn't have the community support or the ability to, you know, have that one-on-one relationship with somebody. So I thank you so much for all the difference that you're making in the community. And
thank you.
That's why I really wanted to have you on as a guest for many reasons, not just about this book, because you're very accomplished in other areas too, right? So you were in the biomed field and you left to do what? To follow your dream, which
Scary.
is
acting, filmmaking. I've been writing, producing. So I just started this maybe 7-8 months ago, really.
And what gave you that moment of that inspiration where you said, I can do this, I'm just going to go for it?
I've been through so many life changes, like with the breast cancer and divorce, and I ended a really bad relationship last year, and I said, let me do something that makes me happy. I was working, making a lot of money in a really great industry, but a lot of anxiety, and I really wasn't being the most that I could be, and I wanted to do something fulfilling. And you know, it's crazy at my age to think, you know, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I partnered with Deborah Markowitz. She is just amazing. She writes like a Nicholas Sparks, and I read her trilogy books, and I was really inspired and thought I can do this also. And I did write 2 children's books as well, so I did have it in me. And I had some screenplays that I wrote several years ago, and I just started reworking them, and now we're shooting my first feature in November.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And on my set, artwork from my daughter, and I know that you offered to her to put
I'm really excited.
her
So
artwork in
your
your
daughter's
film.
going to be in our film, so very excited about that. We're going to shoot at a local gallery. I'm so surprised. Everybody's like, are you moving to Hollywood? And there's so much work to do in Long Island.
There's no reason to leave.
I would never want to leave. I love where I am, and I love like so many independent films and shorts, features. Everything's going on here, and a lot of my really good mutual friends that have inspired me also to continue writing, because they've had such successful projects. So I was part of the Life Film Festival, and that was a tremendous experience to see. Usually you look at the actors, but now I'm looking at from behind the camera and the filmmakers, and it's so amazing to see all this really great stuff going on here.
And there's one other thing that we wanted to talk about too, which is your calendar spread. Look at you.
After being 10 years cancer-free, and my age also, I'm not going to say it, but over 25, and I partnered up with our mutual friend Michael Zinn. We did Junkie Heaven together, and I did a music video with him, and he asked me to help him produce Women of Armageddon. This is going to be the 3rd calendar for Women of Armageddon, so we chose the women together. I'm going to be one of the models, so I'm very excited, and we also came up with Men of Armageddon. So that'll be something to look forward to. End of November this year, we'll have it ready for next year, and we're going to partner with Autism Speaks and with Susan G. Komen as the proceeds. Part of the proceeds, they'll go to both of those charities.
Congratulations. And you did touch briefly about the children's projects and the bullying. Let's talk about that.
Okay, that's another thing that's like near and dear to my heart. It's just like you always have to pay it forward. So I'm working on an independent short right now called Ploy, and it's a crime thriller, and we partnered up with the Grace Theater. It's a non-for-profit children's organization that just offers performing arts, singing, dancing, acting lessons to children. About 200 kids a year get free lessons. So we have, you know, we were raising money for our film, our Indigo film. We wanted to pay it forward, so we worked with them, and the bullying campaign is awesome. My friend Ahmad Quasi came up with this, and it's just like, are you worthy campaign. So logos, and I've met so many dynamic people, hip hop artists, actors, models, just different backgrounds, teachers, and everybody's worthy. And this campaign, again, after what I went through, and I sold medicines for depression, and 15 years ago, I mean, it was such a stigma to be on an antidepressant, and we broke so much ground. So same thing with kids now with the bullying. It's gotten such a big issue with the social media and how much it hurts them. So this is a good way for everybody to get involved. And they have 2 stores, one in Queens and one in Hicksville, and it's just fantastic. So I'm really proud to be part of that Are You Worthy campaign as well.
And just one question, Judy, do you sleep?
I try to, just like you. Do you sleep? So, no, I'm really happy.
No, we don't sleep, but it doesn't matter. Sleep is so overrated anyway.
Really
Who wants to sleep when you can just like live life fully, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to cram in all these things, and it just like, it feels like a fairy tale right now. Like, I'm surrounded by amazing people, and just really good projects and things to look forward to. And you know, you're one of them. You've been my inspiration. You helped me so much. I wanted to help host the Long Island Film Festival, and you took me and your daughter, and we were able to help me do a demo, and I really appreciate that, because out of that I ended up getting other gigs as well, so thank you so much.
I wasn't expecting that she was going to share that, but yeah.
You're amazing, you really are. You always pay it forward, and I really, and you're my neighbor too, so I like that.
There you go, yeah, there you go, neighbors help your neighbors. You're great. And once again, this book is available on Amazon and everywhere else you can get it, right?
Absolutely.
So I thank you for this, and I'm definitely going to send this copy to my friends. So big shout out to you, Vicki. You are loved beyond measure. For all those that are suffering from any challenge in your life, we hope that we can give you some information that makes your life a little bit better. I'm Donna Drake, Judy San Roman, signing off.